Hello and welcome to the final episode of our Chernobyl reaction.
We are watching episode 5 today, titled Vichnaya Pamyat. Don't know what that means, but I gotta say, this has been the longest 5 episodes of my life.
Absolutely. We've made it. I can't believe we've made it. We gotta congratulate ourselves.
They've been a great, I'm sure by the end of it, they have been a great 5 episodes.
Yeah.
But as you all know, it's been a very heavy experience.
Emotionally draining.
Very emotionally draining, but we have learned a lot, and I'm excited to see it through to the end.
Yes, hopefully it's a bit more lighthearted, positive episode.
Yeah, we've heard some people say there's a bit more science involved, so maybe some more explanations.
From everything, right?
And aftermath
Yes.
stuff. Before we begin, thank you so much to everyone who has stuck with us for this first TV show reaction on our channel. We really appreciate it. Feel free to leave your suggestions for future TV show reactions in the comments below. And if you enjoy not only this video, but you enjoyed the entire series, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for future series.
Are you ready for the final episode of Chernobyl?
Yes.
It's showtime. The music already sounds a bit more peaceful.
I suppose
angelic.
It does. The skies look kind of clear.
Yeah, it looks like this. People are just kind of going out or outside, going about their day. Those. No. Oh, he was at the beginning, I think. One of the plant workers. Oh, it's before. That's why. I was like, why is everyone looking so fresh?
I know, and happy. Is that him? Is that Anatoly?
Yeah. So we're getting a bit more like
the previous stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. He just looks like a bastard.
He does.
Okay, there's the foreboding music.
This little problem we have with the safety test is completed successfully. Yes, I think promotion's very likely. Naturally, they'll put me in charge once it's gone, and then I'll need someone to take my old job.
I would like to be considered.
We'll keep that in mind.
That's a no.
With your approval, we're ready to continue lowering power to...
You have to wait. You can't read a fucking face. 3 years I've tried to finish this test. 3 years.
3 years?
Wow.
We can't lower power any further, not for another 10 hours. Everyone's working overtime, the factories need power, someone's pushing down from above.
We'll maintain at 1600. I'll go home, get some sleep, come back tonight. We'll proceed then.
He wants that promotion.
Yeah.
What's he up to?
Doing some fishing around?
No.
Oh, is he thinking? Oh, he's imagining himself like at a higher desk. He's being watched, I bet. I would not feel safe.
You went to the doctor yesterday. How is your health?
I know everything.
You don't know?
At last, a Soviet scientist who tells the truth. Turns out you're quite good at this.
At what? Lying.
Statecraft, Rugasov. We have you to thank for that.
Oh.
We intend to.
Jeez.
These rewards are not yours yet. First, your testimony at the trial.
Comrade Charkov, you gave us assurances. The reactors would be made safe.
Yeah.
It's been months.
Of course they're just gonna keep dangling it. This feels like it should be a little more urgent.
Yeah.
Oh, he's just gotta feel so stuck.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's already losing his hair.
Did you take a train?
Yes, I took a train.
Why are you here?
Because I'm brutally stubborn, which you were hoping for. The state will never willingly fix the reactors because acknowledging the problem means admitting that they lied. They will have to be forced.
Tell the truth.
The Central Committee have invited members of the scientific community to observe the trial.
And do what with it?
insist on reform. Not just to the RBMK, but the entire industry.
I don't know if it'd be that easy, though.
The man whose report you found.
They just removed him from his position at the Institute. Sacked.
I'd like to think that if I spoke out, it would be enough. But I know how the world works.
They will shoot me. Khomyuk.
These are the ones who are still alive. These are the ones who are dead. They died rescuing each other. They simply did what had to be done.
So have I. I went willingly to an open reactor.
It's true, too.
He knows so much.
Yeah.
Ay.
I wonder what Boris would tell him to do. Yeah, if he doesn't say anything, truth would eat him up.
The Central Committee of the Communist Party has determined that justice be carried out on behalf of the people.
I wonder if he even knows at this point what he's gonna do.
Yeah, I know.
Viktor Brukhanov, Anatoly Dyatlov, Nikolai Fomin. The state calls witnesses Comrade Khomyuk of the Belarusian Nuclear Institute, Comrade Legasov.
Oh gosh, I'm
nervous.
Oh wow, they got a whole model?
Why was there need for a safety test at all? Reactor number 4 was not new when the accident occurred. Plant director Viktor Brukhanov signed this document. As a result of finishing the work before the end of the year, Comrade Brukhanov was awarded Hero of Socialist Labor. Comrade Dyatlov was given an Order of the Red Banner. In order to sign this certificate, all safety tests had to have been successfully completed.
So they just bypassed it for the honors?
Yeah.
But what if a power plant has no power? In short, a nuclear disaster. The solution: 3 diesel fuel backup generators here. The backup generators took approximately 1 minute. The theory was this: if the facility lost power, the turbine, which had been spinning, would take some time to slow down and stop. Could keep the pumps working long enough to bridge the 60-second gap.
Oh.
Damn.
Any questions? Science is strong, but a test is only as good as the men carrying it out. The 4th time they tried was April 26, 1986.
They really failed.
Yep.
Comrade Khomyuk.
What's she gonna do?
I do not know.
April 25th, the day the test was meant to take place. By 2 in the afternoon, the reactor has been lowered by half. Before they can proceed, there is a phone call. They are asking for a 10-hour delay. Competent management would have insisted on canceling the test.
But they didn't.
It created 2 problems. One of them is scientific in nature, and the other is very human. There is a shift change.
Right?
Topped enough. Want to buy a motorcycle? Topped enough. It's just a little boy.
Akimov says to come to the control room as soon as you can.
He's already here.
I came in early. Something about a test.
These guys have no idea.
Nope.
They couldn't do it on the day shift, so they've given it to us.
To us? We don't know what...
Yep. That was...
Oh my god. Great.
I have to do something I've never done before with Dyatlov looking over my shoulder.
What the
Don't
fuck?
worry. We'll do it together.
They have no idea. Oh my gosh.
Yes, in the program there's instructions of what to do, and then, well, there's a lot of things crossed out. What should I? He says to follow the crossed out instructions.
So then why are they crossed out?
Yeah.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Oh, I feel so bad for these guys.
I know. The signs were there. The warning signs were there.
Then you have to deal with the world's worst boss.
I haven't reviewed. We only just found out we're there. Review it.
What a...
It's not good. Shut the fuck up and do your job. Topped enough. Reduce power to 700.
No wonder.
Yeah.
Like,
I want you to think of Yuri Gagarin. I want you to imagine that he has been told nothing of his mission into space until the moment that he is on the launch pad. This is exactly what was happening in the control room of Reactor 4. The operator responsible for controlling and stabilizing the reactor that night was all of 25 years old, and his total experience on the job, 4 months.
Never have been there.
Inside the reactor core, something far more dangerous is forming. A poison.
You can't even tell who's like KGB.
Okay. She's done.
In the crowd, you know, you think like everyone's just watching you, making sure you're saying the exact thing. All right, the ball's in your court. What are you gonna do? Oh, the shaking.
Oh yeah.
That was cool.
I'm pleased to see some of my colleagues here from the Kurchatov Institute and Minenegro.
Oh, that's where they are. Okay.
The reactivity which generates power either goes up or it goes down. As uranium atoms split apart and collide, reactivity goes up. Boron control rods.
Right.
They reduce reactivity. Cool water takes heat out of the system. As it does, it turns to steam, or what we call a void. It means that the more steam present within the system, the higher the reactivity, were it not for this. The negative temperature coefficient. When nuclear fuel gets hotter, it gets less reactive. This is the invisible dance that powers entire cities without smoke or flame. As uranium splits apart, it breaks down into a new element, xenon. Because of the delay, Chernobyl reactor 4 has been held at half power. The xenon did not burn away. We're starting to lose balance. At 28...
Boris.
You can't understand how a stalled nuclear reactor could lead to an explosion. I don't blame you. As it turned out, the men who didn't understand it either.
Gosh.
You should have finished by now.
We're following protocol for reduction
Oh,
rate.
fuck
You're
off.
procrastinating.
I'd be like, what the fuck are we doing, guys? Do you know? I don't know.
Whoa, slow.
I didn't move any rods there.
It's doing its own thing.
Yeah, it's out of control. He probably doesn't know what to do.
We did everything right. I think that maybe the core is poisoned.
Well, if you thought the core was poison, then you didn't do everything right.
Your reactor.
LAC disabled, global control activated.
Oh.
I just feel like they made it worse.
Fucking amateurs, you stalled the reactor. How the fuck did you get this job?
We have to shut all the way down.
No.
We could be in a xenon pit.
No, we're doing the test tonight. Raise power to 700.
We can't raise the power from here. The rules.
Don't talk to me about rules. There is no rule.
Comrade Diatlov.
How is he this crazy?
I won't do it. It isn't safe.
He tried, man. Try to warn him.
That's how long I've done this job. 25 years. Is that longer than you, Akimov?
Yes.
Is it much longer? See, if I say it's safe, it's safe. And if the two of you disagree, then you don't have to work here, and you won't raise the power.
Jeez.
I'm older, so I know more than you.
I have so much rage inside
Yeah,
me
for this man.
For this man.
I wasn't even there.
What?
What?
If you weren't in the room, then where were you?
The toilet.
Likely story.
No, Comrade Dyatlov, you were in the room. You ordered them to raise the power. This is a fact.
He's still trying. I feel like Boyce might die right here, man.
Court is now in recess. 30 minutes.
Oh, this whole thing is stressful. There's so much going on.
He's starting to feel it too.
He's probably... I wonder if he's like coughing up blood already.
Yeah. I can't believe he's doubling down again on Anatoly.
I was in the bathroom.
Do you know anything about this town, Chernobyl? It was mostly Jews and Poles. But after the war, people came to live here anyway. They knew the ground under their feet. It was soaked in blood, but they didn't care. No one ever thinks it's going to happen to them. And here we are.
Yeah.
Maybe a year. They call it a long illness. It doesn't seem very long to me. I wasted it all for nothing. Do you remember that morning when I first called you? How unconcerned I was. They said it wasn't serious. I believed them. You know why?
Because they put you in charge.
I'm an inconsequential man, Valera. That's all I've ever been.
Yeah, that sucks realizing that too. That
Yeah.
you're expendable.
Everything we asked for. Men, material, lunar rovers. Who else could have done these things? They heard me, but they listened to you. They mistakenly sent the one good man.
Aww.
Oh, I'm tearing up.
I know.
You were the one who mattered most.
Yeah, respect for Boris, man.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Damn.
I mean, that says a lot. I mean, when he was trying to help out and he was like excited for it during everything, I really like. He wanted to make a change. He wanted his work to mean something, you know.
Yeah.
Comrade Legasov. The operators of Reactor 4 are locked on a path that leads directly to disaster. At 30 megawatts, xenon is still being created, but none of it is burning away. The reactor isn't hot enough to produce sufficient steam.
Jeez.
That's real unbalanced.
Yep.
Akimov and Toptonov have only one course of action. They begin pulling control rods out. Akimov and Toptonov completely withdrew 205. Remember?
Damn.
As for the fuel, it's gone cold. The best they can do is raise the power to 200 megawatts. The only thing keeping the reactor in check is water and xenon.
I've never been more infuriated with the character.
I mean, a real person.
I know.
It's just hard to believe someone could be that careless with something so
I know.
potentially dangerous.
This is all we can get. It's 200 megawatts. The test requires 700.
Stelyarchuk, let's get ready. Switch on pump 4.
Oh, wait a second.
I know what I'm doing. Stelyarchuk.
What the fuck?
So the steam in the separator drum is too low, 5 atmospheres.
All right, let's all help him. Get it up as best you can.
He had like 3 different chances.
More than that.
Problem they were facing was not solvable. The power was too low, the water was too high. The test was already ruined. Yuvchenko, a mechanical engineer, is in his office. Perevoschenko, reactor section foreman, is in the refueling hall. None of them have been told about the test. None of them know what is about to happen. Based on the absence of sufficient control rods, the computer is recommending that the reactor be shut down.
Of course it's saying that. It doesn't know we're running a test.
I have no words.
With every decision, they have pulled this reactor back like a slingshot. The pumps are shut down, and they've let go. The balance immediately swings in the opposite direction. In less than a second, reactivity increases.
Jeez.
They're literally doing everything wrong.
Steam increases reactivity, increases heat, increases steam. The remaining xenon decays away. There's nothing left to stop it.
We have a power surge, Sasha.
In every control room of every nuclear reactor in the world, there is a button with one single purpose. All of the control rods insert at once, and the reaction is stopped.
Tell your lies.
Comrade Dyatlov, you will not be warned again.
Or what?
For God's sake,
Comrade Legasov, you're a liar.
We've heard enough for today. The
Oh.
defendants will be remanded in custody.
Is he gonna say something?
It's not necessary. Your testimony
Oh
is
my
concluded.
god.
Tomorrow,
Let it finish.
Come on, Boris.
Comrade Sabina.
Dyatlov broke every rule we have. He did these things believing there was a failsafe. The shutdown system had a fatal flaw. Fully withdrawn control rods begin moving back into the reactor. The tips are made of graphite, which accelerates reactivity.
Why?
For the same reason our reactors do not have containment buildings around them like those in the West. For the same reason, it's cheaper.
Oh,
shit.
He's opening it up now.
Every last molecule of liquid water instantly converts to steam. The graphite tips are fixed in position, endlessly accelerating the reaction. Perevoschenko looks down on the enormous steel lid of the reactor and sees the impossible. We do not know how high the power went. We only know the final reading. It went beyond 33,000.
That's all I
Pressure
could do.
inside the core, 123.45, explosion.
Oh my god.
It's horrifying.
Chain
Yeah.
of disaster is now complete.
And there we have it. And everything comes full circle. This is how the first episode started out, I think, right?
No one in the room that night knew the shutdown button could act as a detonator.
But?
Because it was kept from them.
Your
testimony in Vienna was a lie. I lied to the world. And right now, there are 16 reactors in the Soviet Union with the same fatal flaw.
Then I must warn you, you're treading on dangerous ground.
I've already trod on dangerous ground. We're on dangerous ground right now.
Yeah.
Every lie we tell incurs a debt to the truth. Sooner or later, that debt is paid. That is how an RBMK reactor core explodes. Lies.
Shit.
He did it. Cat's out of the bag.
I'm so proud.
Yeah.
Does this work, though?
Yeah. What? How much weight will his voice carry? People were pissed, I'm sure.
I mean, obviously they don't kill him.
Right, from when we saw him.
But I'm sure they're not too pleased.
Right. If I'm him, I'm thinking, like, this is it. Someone's going to take me out.
What's that great for?
Yeah, are they going to, like, gas
Blood,
him?
gas, yeah.
How many people could do what he did?
What is that? Like the Russian version of Mickey
I
Mouse?
was thinking it's an all-brand Mickey Mouse. Oh, Mr. KGB.
As a student, you had a leadership position in Komsomol, communist youth, correct?
You already know.
Answer the question.
Yes.
You were the Communist Party secretary. In that position, you limited the promotion of Jewish scientists to curry favor with Kremlin officials.
He hasn't always been a good guy, I guess.
I can do anything I want with you. But what I want the most is for you to know that I know. You're not brave. You're just a dying man who forgot himself.
I know who I am. In a just world, I would be shot for my lies, but not for this, not for the truth.
When the bullet hits your skull, what will it matter? Why? No one's getting shot, Legato. The whole world saw you in Vienna. It would be embarrassing to kill you now. Your testimony today will not be accepted by the state. It will not be disseminated in the press. You keep your title and your office, but no duties, no authority, no friend.
He's done.
Yeah.
Aww.
Other men will receive credit for the things you have done. What role did Shabina play in this?
None. He didn't know what I was going to say.
What role did Homyuk play in this?
None.
It would be curious if you chose this moment to lie.
I would think a man of your experience would know a lie when he hears one.
You will remain so immaterial to the world around you that when you finally do die, it will be exceedingly hard to know that you ever lived at all.
Jeez.
But that's not true!
Right.
Because we know!
If I refuse,
why worry about something that isn't going to happen?
Damn.
Why worry about something that isn't going to happen? They should put that on our money.
So he lives out the rest of his life alone.
Yeah, like it doesn't even exist.
But who does he send the... I wonder if it's...
The
Who does he
physicist.
send the recordings to somehow?
Yeah.
Aww.
That's it. It's like a final goodbye, you know?
And they have no idea what's going on or what he said about them.
Or they might think he's dead.
Yeah, exactly.
The saddest thing, that's probably the last time he sees Boris, you know?
Yeah.
To be a scientist is to be naive. We are so focused on our search for truth, we fail to consider how few actually want us to find it. The truth doesn't care about our needs or wants. It will lie in wait for all time. And this, at last, is the gift of Chernobyl. Now I only ask, what is the cost of lies?
There it is. There he is. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. The scientific community.
Okay.
So it took that long?
Wow. Finally.
It really didn't even matter what he said.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this did kind of make it feel like he was the only one, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so she was representative of all the scientists.
Yeah. 1990. So he still lived.
Oh,
he lived more than. Yeah.
More than the year that was
Right.
predicted.
There they are.
10 years hard labor.
Wow.
Return to work? Oh my goodness. Really?
He got hired again?
I feel like that's gotta be a permanent strike on your
Yeah.
record.
Dyatlov
Okay.
died 95. Pamyat Hospital. So much radiation.
Oof.
I'd be afraid to be back there.
Aww. Oh. She had a kid? Oh.
That's
Hopefully everything went okay.
yeah.
Ugh.
None survived. Before the age of 40. I'm sure a lot of those guys were in like their 30s, 20s. All 3 survived after hospitalization.
Oh.
2 are still alive today.
Really?
Damn. They kept no official records of their fate. Oh, okay. His birthmark right there. That's him. Damn.
It's not that long ago.
Oh, wow. 4,000 to 93,000 deaths?
Yeah, I'm sure it's hard with just like the wide variety of how like each person was impacted, plus just the secrecy of the government.
It's 31.
That's it?
Absolutely. And that is a wrap on the final episode of Chernobyl. What are you thinking right now? What are your thoughts?
It's just, even after watching the full 5 episodes about it, it's still hard to believe
That it actually happened.
that not only that it happened, but just all of the decisions leading up to it were actually made, especially by Dyatlov. But I mean, all of the people involved who were just hungry for power
I know.
at the expense of whatever it took.
I know. And it really just the power of like the Soviet Union at the time wanted to be portrayed as this perfect nation. They can do nothing wrong, and that sort of idea led to like their downfall, like everything collapsing. Right? They put you information about the reactors, and which pressured everyone else to lie.
Obviously, it's not a rational decision to do that, to not even try to fix everything, even once you know. Like, just it's just hard to even comprehend how you could just be so dumb.
I know.
And know that there is a way to fix something, but not doing it and risking something so horrible just because it would make you look bad.
Exactly.
For a short while. Like, you would look bad, but at least you wouldn't look as bad as you would if something terrible happened.
And once it all, and like discovering like, oh, you did lie about everything, right? It's like
that would give you way more respect if you fixed your mistakes
and told the truth about it, you know?
But anyway.
Yeah, I liked Boris's last line there about like, no matter how hard you try to like, in regards to this whole situation, like deny something or just like live in lies, like the truth will eventually come out. And that was in the form, unfortunately, of the reactor exploding.
Once again, gotta hand it to Legasov. He's an interesting figure because just based on that little bit that the KGB guy said in the end there, it sounds like he had made a lot of maybe politically driven choices before to also gain some power. So he wasn't always a good guy. I mean, he did have a lot of power at this point. When he came here, he was the head of something, right? Or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what his title was, but he had done some bad things to get there. But I think he redeemed himself in the end for sure.
Definitely. Boris
as well. I'm sure he had also been like that in the past. I think it's just probably the way of being in any sort of leadership position in the Soviet Russian society.
Yeah.
You just have to do bad things to get power. So
fortunately,
I think a lot of what Boris believed maybe was destroyed by the end there, because he realized how expendable he was.
Yeah, that final conversation.
And how just pointless everything was in the face of something like this. It was nice to see those clips at the end of the actual real people.
Yeah.
It's always weird to see the actual person compared to the actor who plays them. Because I feel like I grew attached to Legasov's actor, but that wasn't the real guy.
He's the real Legasov. Boris. He's the real Boris.
I guess we got some updates about some of the people. So Boris passed away several years later. And Ignatenko's wife
had a baby.
Had a kid. So that's nice.
That's a nice little positive after everything she went through.
So I guess my main questions are, what is it like now? So those people, we saw some footage from current day.
Yes.
What do people go there for? Is it pretty much empty? Or are there people still there kind of doing cleanup?
Yeah, and like what? I mean,
on a regular basis?
And I imagine now we have more of like suits and
better equipment.
Yeah, equipment to withstand the radiation there.
I like how during the testimony they showed us what was happening, not just there were parts of Legasov and the other two talking, but also the people that we saw in the beginning kind of playing that out.
Oh my god, that's such like anger built up from watching that.
How can you be like that?
How can you make so many wrong?
How can a person like that exist?
Yeah, although like not everything was nonfiction, but I'm just glad that we were able to learn more about the event, because it was unfortunate that we never learned about it.
Did you never learn about it at all?
No.
Really?
Not until look what I said at the beginning of the series. I was like, I don't know. I think of human test subjects, which was way off.
It's hard to believe that anyone even lives somewhat close to to where that is. So were the cleanup efforts, everything that they did as far as they had a lot of people out, planes dropping stuff, getting rid of the forest, whatever. I wonder how effective all of that was.
Right.
If it prevented it from being spread
farther
to neighboring areas.
Yeah, that's specific details like that is what I'd like to learn more about. Like what happened after the fact. And obviously, so the 2017 they said they created a confinement zone within
just over the plant, right?
Okay,
over the Chernobyl
nuclear
plant. As impressive as the show was, I don't think I'll ever watch it again.
I know it's something else, and I've said this before, but the show is able to, it creates this overall terrifying experience when someone explains that something bad is going to happen, and then you see it unfold, but then you also hear it with the sound design, the music. It just all creates this unforgettable, deeply emotionally draining experience, especially episode 4.
Yeah, and it was just such a small taste too of the vast impact of everything on all of these people.
Yeah,
I just can't even imagine being someone who was involved, whether you were a cleanup crew or the doctors and nurses who had to watch what happened to all of these people, the scientists, just anyone.
And imagine growing up around the area or watching it on the news, it just probably would have felt unreal.
So it's so often the situation with these types of things where even if there's a disaster in the government or the company who is responsible for that disaster, even if they acknowledge it, it doesn't mean that it's not going to happen again. because as we've seen here, a lot of governments or companies or whatever don't want people to think that they're irresponsible. So they're not,
panic.
So they're going to try to cover it up as much as possible, make it seem...
Downplay it.
Yeah, completely downplay it. And unless there's some really ethical whatever, it feels like they would still cut corners on other things in the future. So it might not be the same disaster, but maybe it's something else.
I know. You'd think hopefully they would learn from their mistakes.
But at the end, the people who are running the show are the ones who are most removed from whatever's happening. I brought it up earlier in the series, but with the train derailment that happened a few months ago in Ohio, obviously the people who lived in the town were the most affected, the ones who were going to get sick from the chemicals, and then the owners of the company, the ones who are rich, they're just going to get rid of the issue as quickly as possible so they can go on operating business and making money.
Exactly. And I mean, I heard about it through the news, but it wasn't like, just how much of it was actually expressed throughout the entire nation,
And I feel like it maybe took a minute to catch on. So I'm sure there were attempts to keep it
hush
covered up. And I feel like you hear about this stuff all the time with oil spills, other train derailments, trucks that crash on the highways and stuff comes spilling out. There's just nothing really on the level of Chernobyl, but still bad things nonetheless that affect the environment and where we're trying to just live our lives as normal people.
There's so much things that could be happening that we have no idea is actually happening.
True.
Which is scary to think about.
Yeah, I feel like one thing that was really apparent through the show was just how easily something like this can spread through the air, through the water, and just affect so many people further away from where it happened. And it really just, I don't know, makes me concerned for the environment. I don't know about you.
For sure. Overall, great casting, great characters. I really enjoyed, the three, the woman physicist. I always forget her name. The physicist, Boris, and Chernobyl. And Legasov. When Boris and Legasov first meet, you're like, oh gosh, these two will not get along. They're like opposite people. But I don't know, it kind of felt like they had some sort of a friendship.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think they became quite close.
Especially with the last conversation that we saw in the show.
They went through something together that few people have ever gone through.
Right.
So even just that bonded them together and trying to deal with all of the bureaucracy and everything. Before we end it, do you have any sort of overall thing you want to take away from watching this?
I would say always try to tell the truth. Because if you don't, eventually, even if you lie and keep lying, I feel like at some point that will come back to haunt you. Maybe not right away, maybe over time, but I think that was my biggest overall takeaway. What about you?
Mine, I guess it's similar, but a bit more cynical, is that you can't really trust. You can't really trust those who are in a much higher, what would you say? Not necessarily even political,
authority?
But just, those who have a much higher authority,
I know.
You can't necessarily trust to tell the truth.
Yeah, because think about how many times someone, that had a lot of authority would say, like, oh, everything's fine. And you're, convinced that everything is fine, but it's not fine. So you definitely would have some trust issues.
I think we're going to go ahead and end it there. And if we have anything else to say, we'll leave it down below or something. But for now, we're just going to take everything in.
And thank you.
For
being a part of this emotional ride. And I'm sure you guys loved watching Sarah tear up, especially in episode 4. Yeah, a little bit for me. But it was good fun.
I don't know if fun is the word I would use to describe the experience, but it was an experience indeed. And I don't know when we'll do our next TV show, but hopefully not too long from now.
Yes.
And in the meantime, you'll have movie reactions to watch.
Yeah.
So we will see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.